Hi, I'm Tamez, and today with all my friends at FaveQuilts, I'm really excited to bring you the second installment of our Quilt-Along. And what I'm going to be doing right now is creating the pinwheel blocks and also the front of the table runner. And so what I'm going to do is just show you how it all comes together. So what I've done is taken one of my white triangles and one of my blue ones, and I'm going to just lay them right sides together, matching up the points and the edge. And what I've already gone ahead and done is put the quilting size 75 needle in my machine and install the 1/4 inch guide foot so I can get a nice 1/4 inch seam allowance on this piece right along this long edge right here. And so what I'm going to go is just go to my machine and sew it up. And so what I've gone ahead and done is already sewed together 3 of these in advance just to create this block, just to speed things along. But that's how you would go about creating this square. And then what you'll do is take your little iron, or an iron that you have, and press open your seam allowance. Make everything all nice and flat. It's really important to do that. It's kind of a pain, but you really should do it. So anyways, what you'll do is you'll take your 4 squares that you've created and just lay them out and make sure that they are going the way you want. And you can kind of create the pinwheel right here on your table before you put it together. So I know that this piece needs to come together right here, so I will flip it over and match up this side, because this is the side I'm going to sew my seam on, and match up the points and the edge, and take it over to my machine and sew up with a 1/4 inch seam allowance. And then go ahead and press open your seam allowance. Go ahead, lay it down. It's always nice to keep an eye on things and make sure everything is going together the right way, because you don't want to be at the end and realize you've sewn something the wrong way. So just keep an eye on everything. Keep checking. Go ahead and sew up your second one. And then again, we're going to go ahead and press open that seam allowance. Take your pieces, and then you're going to sew up right in the middle. And once again, pressing open that seam allowance. And there you have your pinwheel. So now what we're going to do is take the 2 7 7/8 inch short green strips and just lay them on the sides, either side of your pinwheel. And it's a good idea once you have one made to kind of copy it and keep the short sides on the same side. That way the pinwheel goes all the same way. Unless you want it to be different, you can do whatever you want here. But just go ahead and lay those down and make sure the edges are nice and flush. And if you have a little bit of unevenness, just make sure that when you sew down you have at least a 1/4 inch seam allowance on the smallest piece of overhang. And then go ahead and do the other side. And once again, we'll be pressing open these seam allowances, pressing open everything here. And then turning it over. And make sure you're always laying down your strips right sides together. So that way when you flip things open, everything is all nice. So then again, what I have right here are the 10 3/4 inch strips, and these are just going to go right along the side. And you can see how right here I have a little bit of overhang. I'm just going to go ahead and keep this strip flush with the main part, and I'll trim that away later. That's okay, you can do that. You can trim away excess if you need to. And then go ahead and sew that up. And you guessed it, pressing open these seam allowances. And there you have your square. It was that easy. So what you'll do is go ahead and put 3 of those together. And I can't lay out all 3 right now because of the iron. It's nice and hot, so I don't want to mess anything up over there. But what I'm going to do is take this first one and take 2 of the green strips. One right here. And one right here. Just make sure everything is perfect the way I want it. And I'll go ahead and sew these up with a 1/4 inch seam allowances, just like I did the green ones before. And pressing open these seam allowances too. And then laying this out and taking your next square, because right now you just need the square. And what I like to do is make sure that the shorter sides are matched together. You don't want a long and a short, or you could do that if you want. It would be interesting. But I like to keep everything nice and aligned. So just go ahead and lay down your square. Right there, you're going to sew up your seam. And pressing open this seam. And then taking your next one. And another one of the green strips that's 10 3/4 inches long, laid right down on the edge. And sew it up. Pressing open once more. And then taking your third square and laying it down, keeping everything aligned yet again. Sew that up. And pressing open the seams. And now one more 10 3/4 inch strip right at the end. Right here. Alright, and this last seam, well, one of the last seams to press open. And so now what we have right here is the majority of the table runner, and you see how fast that went together. So now what I'm going to do is go ahead and take these 37 1/4 inch by 2 inch wide strips and go ahead and make the border on the long side, the length of the table runner. And so for this side, what I've done, and you might notice that I haven't been using pins because I've been working with such nice big pieces. I really haven't needed them, but for this one, since it's so long, just a couple pins here and there to secure. And the same for the other side. And then go ahead and sew this up on both sides with a 1/4 inch seam allowance. And so then what you'll do is go ahead and you can see you have the nice top of the table runner all ready to go. What we're going to do is press open those seams. Very important to do that. And there you have it. Once you've pressed open all your seams, the top to your table runner. So that's it for this part, and with all my friends at FaveQuilts, I hope you continue on to the next segment of our quilt along. Thanks.